Hello everyone. In this lecture 30, we will understand what is payroll control record and payroll process. So what is payroll control record? Payroll control record first of all can be accessed through the transaction code PA03. So what is payroll control record? We understand two things. Payroll is one thing, control is second thing. So payroll control record is a tool used to control the payroll related activities. Now you might be thinking like, what are the activities in the payroll? So let's see. So control record is a prerequisite for each payroll area. Without having a control record for a payroll area, you cannot run the payroll. You need to have one control record for each payroll area, and you cannot assign number of payroll areas to one control record. No, one control record should be created for one payroll area. Why? Because the control record is used to control the payroll related activities of that specific payroll area. That is the reason why we cannot assign number of payroll areas to one single control record. So let's see what are the different payroll related activities which are controlled by the control record. The first one is released for payroll, second one is release payroll for corrections, third is exit payroll, fourth is check payroll results. These are the four, I would say, the phases which comes in payroll. When you run the payroll, these are the four phases which comes, and this control record will control each of these phases. And this is the IMG where you have to basically go and create the control record. If you don't know the transaction code PA03, you can go to the IMG. IMG is nothing but the configuration. So you can go here and create the control record. Now this is the screen which comes when you create the control record. If you see here, I have created a control record for the payroll area ZM, which is Zenith monthly, and I gave, because there should be some values in this screen, because these fields are mandatory. So what I am telling the system, hey, this is the control record for this payroll area, and the payroll period is 1st 2014, 01/2014, first payroll period, which is nothing but from 1st of January to 31st of January. Now you will be thinking, what is this payroll period means? Payroll period means the time period for which the payroll will be running, start and end date. So start date is the 1st January 2014 and end date is 31st January. So the payroll will take this period while running the payroll for this payroll area. So for example, you are included in this payroll area, meaning you are a monthly employee. So if you remember, when I created the payroll area, I assigned the period parameter monthly. So system knows this payroll area is monthly. So when the payroll is running for this payroll area, the system also, the payroll should also know for which period are you trying to run the payroll. So payroll period 01 means 01/01/2014 to 31st January 2014. So this entry you have to just maintain in control record so that you can save this. Otherwise, if you just leave these fields blank, it will give an error. So I just entered, okay, I am going to basically start from this period. For example, I just entered. Now, what is the earliest retroactive accounting period? It means, for example, now you have completed running the payroll for this month. Okay, now you are in the next month. Some employee came and complained, hey, this amount was supposed to be given to me last month. I did not see the check. Then the company says, oh, okay, fine, we will pay you in the coming month. So now the company goes into that employee's record, whatever the payroll records are there, they will make that adjustment, and then again that amount will be paid to this employee in the next run. So what is this earliest retroactive accounting period? It means we are telling the system till which date back the system can go and take the changes. Meaning I am telling the system that just go back till 1st 2014, means go till January 1st 2014. If there are any changes before this, it won't take into account, because we have instructed the system that the earliest retro means going back. What is the earliest going back period? It is January 2014. So if any employee comes and complain about 2013, then this cannot be in the earliest control. I would say it won't be like included, because it is beyond the earliest retroactive accounting period. So this is how you create the control record. So first thing is, when you create the control record, first of all, control record is important and it is mandatory for one payroll area. If you have 5 payroll areas, then you are creating 5 control records. And these are the different payroll statuses, like released for payroll, released for correction, exit payroll, check payroll results. These are the different phases a payroll will go through. And you have to enter this payroll period and earliest retroactive accounting period. Now let's understand about the payroll process. As I mentioned in the previous slide and this particular screen, if you see, there are 4 different phases. Let's see what are those phases. Below are the phases in payroll run. First one is released payroll. What do you mean released payroll? At this stage, the payroll control record is set to release for payroll. Meaning, the moment you click this checkbox, this button, when you click this button, it will be released. A green tick mark will come. It means now the payroll has been released for payroll. What does it mean? The control record is set to release for payroll means now even if the end user is trying to maintain the master data, he cannot, because you are locking the master data. It is important, because if you just have the master data open, any end user is just going and updating some salary and some other bank details, and payroll is also running at the same point, it won't be right. So that is the reason why whenever you run the payroll, you first release the payroll, meaning that you are locking the master data record so that nobody can go there and make the changes. But future dated changes are allowed, because there is nothing wrong in maintaining the future dated, right? Because future dated changes are not included in the current payroll run. So you can definitely go and make the future dated changes. But for the past and present, you cannot. Why? Past means it might be taking the retroactive accounting period, right? Because some employee came and complained about 2 months back thing. So if payroll can was basically searching for the 2 months back master data records. So we always make sure that we release the payroll so that nobody can go and make the changes while the payroll is running. So this is the release for payroll. And it says if the payroll is released from the exit stage, like for example, your payroll is done, completed. Now when the second time you release the payroll, this number, if you see here, payroll period, will automatically jump to number 2, because now it is for the second payroll period. And it makes sense, right? The moment the first payroll period is done, then it goes to the second payroll period. That's what it is saying. What it is saying, if the payroll is released from exit stage, the system rolls into the next payroll period, increasing the payroll area period number by 1, which is nothing but it will come to 2. If it is 2, it will be 3. If it is 3, it will be 4. So like that it increases. Now once you release the payroll, then only you can start the payroll, right? Because you are releasing the break. I mean, you are just releasing the break, then only you can start the car. So first you have to release the payroll. You have to make sure everything is locked. Nobody is basically going and making the changes to the master data record. Now after you release the payroll, then you go and start the payroll. Start the payroll means now you are able to execute the payroll for one payroll area and for the payroll period, which is defined in the control record. Now if you see in the control record, what is defined here? 01/2014. If I release the payroll, it means I am running the payroll for the period 1/1/2014 till 31/1/2014. This is the period the system knows that it has to run the payroll run for. So it says in the start payroll, when you execute the payroll run for one payroll area for the payroll period defined in the payroll control record. This is nothing but you are starting the payroll, you are running the payroll. So now when you run the payroll, definitely you want to see the result before actual payroll is completely performed, and because there will be some definitely errors, right? Because there could be some master data information missing, like some employee didn't provided some SSN or some information which is really relevant for payroll could be missing. In that case, this is the correction phase. What do you mean correction phase? When you see the payroll result log history, it will show you the screen like these many error came up, go and make those corrections. Then what you do, you go and you basically click this particular button which is release for corrections. When you release for corrections, then what happens, the past and present master data which you have logged will be now unlocked for corrections. Yeah, because it is now open, because you can go back and make the changes for those employees who showed who were errored out in the payroll run. For example, employee number 123, for that employee, when you run the payroll, when you started the payroll, it showed some error like this employee information is not complete, some information is missing, his SSN is missing, or something is missing. Then you go for correction phase and then go to those master data records to make the corrections. You should make the appropriate corrections to fix the payroll errors. Now other people, like other employees, the payroll could be like successful, right? So you should not touch those, but the people like the employees for whom the payroll has errored out, you have to make the corrections. And again you have to start the payroll using the match code W. There is a match code W which you will see. Match code W, it basically includes all those employees that were rejected during the payroll run, like previous payroll run, meaning that when you started the payroll and then out of 50 employees, 30 were successful, 20 got rejected. These 20 will be included in match code W. So next time when you run the payroll, you can run the payroll for the match code W, because those employees who have already successfully run the payroll, you are not touching them. So this is correction phase. Now once the correction phase is done and all the employees pass the payroll, everything was successful, then you can exit. Exit is nothing but coming out of the payroll, because now you have to wait for the next payroll run. So now the past and present HR master data for those employees is now unlocked. Unlocked means now changes are can again be made. The master data records can be touched by the end users. Everything will be in the normal activities. But during the payroll run, it is very critical period. Sometimes the information is passed to the end users from the payroll department. Hey guys, don't go in the master data, or they will give a cutoff period. Hey, if you want to make any changes in the master data, this is the end date. Just go and make the changes by this date, because after this date we are going to release the payroll and you cannot go and make the changes. Then end users, they just hurry up and make sure everything is updated properly, and then the payroll department will release the payroll. This is how the payroll process works in SAP. Hope you enjoyed the class. Thank you.